Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Liverpool have already spoke to £48 million midfielder over January move. Liverpool's eyeing potential £48 million midfield move. Liverpool's title defence has gone from promising to problematic. After Sunday's 3-0 loss at Manchester City, Arne Slot's side have now suffered 5 defeats in their last 6 league games, a sharp contrast to the consistency that carried them to the Premier League title just months ago. Much of the frustration from supporters has centred on the same issue that plagued the side early last season, the absence of a true defensive midfielder. Amidst this growing concern, Dave Davis from Anfield Index's transfer show has shed light on Liverpool's latest potential solution. The club's recruitment team appear to be looking towards France, specifically to Lille's 18-year-old Ayoub Boadi. Scouting Boadi, a calculated move. According to Davis, he's a player that Liverpool are having a serious look at. The teenager's rise in League One has caught attention across Europe, and Liverpool scouts have been among the most frequent visitors. Liverpool have scouted this player a number of times, and our info is that Liverpool have spoken to the player and the club a number of times. The financial element could make this a classic Liverpool-style deal. Davis explained, in terms of the way we operate and looking for a bargain, in the summer he will only have 1 year left on his contract. Lille's asking price, however, reflects his potential. Our info is that if it was to be a January move, then Lille would deal at around £48 million. What Boadi could bring. Liverpool's need for a tenacious yet composed midfielder has rarely been clearer. As Davis noted, we all want an aggressive midfielder in there and more legs in this Liverpool side, and he's also a solid passer and can carry the ball. His defensive output appears encouraging, too. He's 75th percentile for tackles and 80th percentile for blocks. The data backs up the visual impression of a player who can win duels and transition play quickly. At just 18, Boadi has already featured heavily for Lille, which hints at maturity beyond his years. It could be one where you wonder whether he's ready for a big move, but he's already played big minutes for Lille at just 18. While Liverpool's interest seems concrete, the question remains whether action will follow. Davis summarized it succinctly: with a year left to go in the summer, Liverpool are well aware of the fee that it would take to bring him to Anfield. Will they do it? That's a different question entirely. That uncertainty feels like the story of Liverpool's recent transfer windows. Slot's men have flair and energy in abundance but continue to look unbalanced in key areas. As the gap to Arsenal widens to 8 points, recruitment decisions over the next 2 months could define how quickly Liverpool recover from this slump. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our second news is Liverpool set to receive January offer after Marc Guehi nightmare as attack planned. Liverpool defender Joe Gomez was the subject of interest from AC Milan in the summer as the Reds pursued Crystal Palace's Marc Guehi. Serie A giants AC Milan have not given up hope of signing Liverpool defender Joe Gomez, according to the latest reports from Italy. The 28-year-old was tipped to make the move to San Siro on deadline day of the summer transfer window, but the deal reportedly fell through due to Liverpool's inability to secure a replacement. The Reds had been heavily linked with Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi, and a £35 million move was believed to be on the verge of completion before the London club pulled the plug in the final hours of the window. Guehi is now expected to see out his contract at Selhurst Park and become a free agent next summer, although Liverpool will no doubt face fierce competition for his signature from Europe's elite. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Barcelona are among the clubs to have been linked with the England defender ahead of his expected free agency. Liverpool did strengthen their defensive ranks with the signing of teenage centre-back Giovanni Leoni from Parma. However, after the 18-year-old suffered an ACL injury on his debut for the Reds against Southampton in the Carabao Cup in September, keeping hold of Gomez has proved a masterstroke, with Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk the only other fit senior central defenders at the club. That said, if the latest reports from Italy are to be believed, Liverpool's resolve over Gomez will once again be tested in January. Corriere dello Sport claim that Milan will not waste any time this time around and intend to move swiftly when the transfer window reopens. The report adds that discussions with Gomez had progressed well and that it was not the player's desire to move which caused the deal to collapse. Sporting director Igli Ter is said to still have the Reds' current longest-serving player firmly in his sights, with an attack on the way, as the outlet describes. Gomez has made just 7 appearances across all competitions so far this season, totaling 238 minutes. His lack of first-team action was a key factor behind the summer transfer speculation, so it remains to be seen whether continued limited opportunities under Arne Slot could once again prompt the defender to consider a move away. Having signed for Liverpool in 2015, Gomez has made just shy of 250 appearances across all competitions. He remains under contract at Anfield until 2027, and it is currently unclear how much Milan would be willing to pay for his services. Liverpool opened talks for £48 million midfielder as rivals Red Stars after Marc Guehi chaos. Florian Wirtz hits back at critics while XPL star reveals how Liverpool humbled him. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our third news is Florian Wirtz responds to criticism following forward's £116 million move. Florian Wirtz briefly became the most expensive player in British football history last summer. He joined Liverpool from Bayer Leverkusen for a fee that could reach £116 million. The landmark transfer was expertly overseen by sporting director Richard Hughes, who secured the 22-year-old to a lucrative 5-year contract, won over by the promises of head coach Arne Slot. Wirtz selected Anfield ahead of other transfer options including Real Madrid and Manchester City. The new-look Liverpool attack, remodeled after the 2024-25 Premier League title win, would boast the Germany international as its centerpiece. Wirtz still struggling for LFC breakthrough. Only it's not worked out that way as yet. Wirtz is already through 11 Premier League games for the Reds, and has yet to provide a goal or an assist. Slot has even seen fit to not only field Wirtz from different positions other than No. 10, but has also on occasion dropped the Leverkusen legend to the bench. New to the league and to the country, Wirtz has attracted lots of criticism in recent weeks. The likes of Wayne Rooney and Gary Neville have put the boot in of late, as Wirtz suffers in a Liverpool team short of results. And now an insightful article from Bild in Germany has revealed Wirtz's state of mind as he gets to grips with the barbs coming his way. Wirtz, not bothered by criticism. He's not particularly bothered by these comments, the report reads. And they usually come from a certain quarter. Rooney, Ferdinand, Neville, they're all former players of arch-rivals Manchester United. Wirtz has provided 2 assists to this point in the Champions League, and he is also carving out a fair number of chances for his teammates. Wirtz will come good. The attacker has been defended staunchly by Germany national team boss Julian Nagelsmann this week, who instead pinned the blame on Liverpool's misfiring strikers. It's only a matter of time before it all comes together for Wirtz, but he is far from the only issue at the club right now. Arne Slot has a job on his hands to realign the club's title defense, and in time Wirtz will no doubt prove to be help and not a hindrance to those efforts. He is clearly still believing in himself that things will come good, and Liverpool fans therefore have strong incentives to remain optimistic. Liverpool opened talks for £48 million midfielder as rivals Red Stars after Marc Guehi chaos. Florian Wirtz hits back at critics while XPL star reveals how Liverpool humbled him. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fourth news is Premier League star reveals why Liverpool humbled him before $33 million transfer exit. Ben Gannon Doak only made 10 appearances for Liverpool during his 3 years at the club, but reflects on a hugely positive experience during his time at Anfield. Former Liverpool winger Ben Doak has reflected on his time at Liverpool and revealed he felt humbled after his move from Celtic in 2022. Doak joined the Reds as a 16-year-old and went on to play 10 times for the club before departing in the summer. The Scot signed for Bournemouth for a fee of up to £25 million, $33 million, in August, but has made a slow start to life on the south coast that he is yet to start a league game, and has made 5 appearances from the bench for Andoni Iraola's side. He has played a bigger role for Scotland, however, and has featured in all 4 World Cup qualifiers. Doak is preparing for the upcoming clash with Greece on Saturday and has been reflecting on his time at Anfield. Speaking to the BBC ahead of the game, Doak was asked about his experience at Liverpool, and said he was blown away by the size of the club. "When you join a club of that stature, you see how high the level can really go," said the 20-year-old. "It humbles you a lot and shows you how far you need to go, but it also shows you that when you do well against those players, you can do it against anyone." Doak is likely to line up alongside former Liverpool teammate Andy Robertson on Saturday in Greece, in what could set up a winner-takes-all encounter against Denmark next week. The Danes and Scots are currently tied for first and second place, with both teams on 10 points. At just 20, the Bournemouth star plays a prominent role and will have to collectively shoulder the expectation of an entire country heading into this double-header. Asked whether he feels that pressure, Doak replied, "I don't really feel that responsibility, to be honest. There are some players who have done a whole lot more than what I've done in my career in the squad. We've actually got a really good squad as well, so I don't really feel the responsibility is on me. I think it's on all of us to play well as a team. Obviously, it would be great if I go and make a big contribution, but I really don't care how we do it as long as we do it." Liverpool opened talks for £48 million midfielder as rivals Red Stars after Marc Guehi chaos. Florian Wirtz hits back at critics while XPL star reveals how Liverpool humbled him. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is Liverpool may make second Crystal Palace transfer following Marc Guehi. Liverpool were left frustrated in their pursuit of Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi on deadline day, but the Reds are expected to return for the defender next summer. Liverpool may have splashed out £450 million, $592.3 million, during the summer transfer window, yet there remains a lingering sense of disappointment over the player who slipped through their fingers. The Reds had orchestrated a deadline day £35 million, $46 million, agreement for Marc Guehi, only for Crystal Palace to scupper the arrangement at the 11th hour. Guehi had been granted clearance to complete his medical examination with the Reds in London on September 1. Nevertheless, Palace's efforts to secure a replacement centre-half collapsed when Brighton and Hove Albion's Igor Julio opted for a loan spell at West Ham United rather than making the switch to Selhurst Park. Consequently, Guehi's anticipated transfer to Merseyside was abandoned, with Liverpool now anticipated to make a fresh approach next summer when he becomes available as a free agent. However, the reigning Premier League title holders are also being mooted as a perfect landing spot for another of Palace's England representatives. Adam Wharton, who on Friday earned selection in Thomas Tuchel's latest England squad alongside teammates Guehi and Dean Henderson, continues to earn glowing praise at Palace following his bargain £18 million, $23.7 million, switch from Blackburn Rovers in January 2024. His displays have captured the attention of numerous elite clubs across England and Europe, with one former Palace favourite believing the 21-year-old deep-lying playmaker would slot seamlessly into life at Anfield. Ex-Wales midfielder Joe Ledley, who represented the Eagles between 2013 and 2017, commented, "When you're doing so well, there's always going to be clubs floating around, trying to buy your big stars. You can't really compete with that. But he, Adam Wharton, is a fantastic player and central midfielder. I've watched him a few times and he's a really creative player, always on the front foot, always looking forward, finding those passes. Still young, too. He's represented England as well, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of clubs interested in him, whether it happens soon or in a year or two. You want to keep your best players at Palace and he's definitely one of them. Time will tell. I think he's had a fantastic start to the season and the end of last season, so hopefully Palace will hand out a few new contracts soon. Liverpool would be a good move for him, in that midfield area with Alexis, Mac Allister. Also, Arsenal. Those sort of teams, the ones that get on the ball and are possession-based, he would suit. So it wouldn't surprise me if those two were interested in January or at the end of season. He's really confident on the ball, a good passer moving it back and forward, and is always on the front foot. When he has played against Liverpool, he has been fantastic against them and set up a few goals. So, it wouldn't surprise me if it would be Liverpool or Arsenal that tried to sign Adam Wharton. While the Eagles have no desire to part ways with Wharton during the January window, reports suggest they may look to capitalize on Guehi's value in the new year to avoid losing their skipper without compensation next summer. In a conversation with Gambling.com, a site specializing in ranking and reviewing top online casino and betting sites, Ledley expressed, "It's difficult. It's nice to get money for the player, but with how well they have been performing in the league, maybe it would be all right to lose £30 to £40 million and hopefully get into the Champions League or Europe again. There's pros and cons, I'm not sure. Every Palace fan would probably want Guehi there until the end of season, and then bite the bullet and lose him for free. But with the business side of it, the chairman would probably want a few million, so there's a 50-50 debate on that. I'd like to see Guehi stay until the end of the season and see how far Palace can go." Last month, Eagles chairman Steve Parish stated that the club's first season in Europe was the reason for denying his captain's dream move to Liverpool. Rumours surfaced on deadline day that head coach Oliver Glasner, who was keen to keep Guehi, had threatened to leave if the player did not stay in South London. Speaking ahead of the 2025 Scottish Masters tournament at Aberdeen's Pan J Live on November 14, where he will represent former club Celtic, Ledley said, "Guehi will probably be leaving in January, if not then the end of the season. The manager obviously loves him, you can see he's a big leader in that team. He's captain as well and you don't want to lose your best players." Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumours, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.